We're back to the Yap sessions. This time we are going to be talking about some Marvel news, and we're going to actually push along the story of the game. This is where we end up fighting or seeing Venom for the first time. I'm actually going to change the suit though, because not that I'm tired of it, but I'm kind of tired of it. So we're going to throw on the TASM 2 suit. Oof, it looks really good. The first thing I wanted to talk about was this thing I saw on, well, all of this is from Twitter, but ranking Avengers films. Avengers 1, Ultron, Infinity War, Endgame. Now, number one is pretty easily Infinity War. I mean, you can't really say anything else about it. It's just the fact that they were able to put it off unknown makes it number one. Second, second's where it gets tricky for me because I could put Avengers for the impact that it had. Well, since so early on in the MCU, it was able to bring a team together in such a great way, and it's genuinely a good, fun movie. The 360 shot, like, come on. But I could also put Endgame and argue Endgame because it's the final 40 minutes with the final battle. The fact that it was able to take all of the characters that we know and love for over, like, what, 15, no, 10, 11 years, and bring them all on the big screen and have them all work pretty well. Obviously, a little bit of a low moments throughout the film because it's longer, but I feel like the impact for me personally of seeing Avengers Endgame in theaters hit more than seeing the first Avengers in theaters because those last 40 minutes the theater was packed and the emotion was just very high. So I think I'm gonna put Endgame second, but it's pretty much tied with Avengers 1. And then last is pretty obviously Age of Ultron, but it's not because it's a bad film. I think it's underrated, overhated for sure, but it just doesn't stack up to what they did with Infinity War, to what Avengers meant at the time that it came out, and what they did with Endgame. Even though Ultron was a great villain, and we had some good moments, which one of them leads into the next thing we were going to talk about, which is Vision and James Spader coming back as Ultron in the Vision series, which is a crazy move that they're actually, I can't believe they're actually pulling off. And it makes me excited for Vision because, to be honest, I wasn't looking forward to it at all. Same thing with Agatha, even though I am going to watch it. Like, I watch all the live action Marvel shows, but the only one I haven't seen show wise, which is in live action, is What If Season 2. I haven't finished it because I have no interest in finishing it. But James Spader as Ultron was a great performance, and seeing how he's going to assumingly be like the antagonist for the whole thing because he was very like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, sort of like a mirror for Vision in the sense of him being a villain, like, as opposed to Vision being a hero because of his like pureness, and both of them looking at technology and the internet, so to speak, as like two sides of the same coin. Like I said, I think Jason Spader coming, Jason. Wow, I keep thinking of Jason Statham whenever I try to say his name. James Spader. I think he'll do a great job. Like, coming back, I really hope, like I said, he's a long-term antagonist and not just like a 1 or 2 episode thing. Kind of like how I guess Agatha was in WandaVision, even though she was throughout the whole thing, she was really only an antagonist for like the last episode, from what I remember, all a long time ago though. And now, while we get into this main mission, where Venom pops up, we can talk about the biggest part, or the biggest thing of news that I wanted to talk about, which was Spider-Man 4 beginning to film next year and slated to release in 2026, being in between Doomsday and Secret Wars, likely being a multiversal based story. Now, I don't know if I've talked about it on here. I for sure I've talked about it on TikTok, but I don't know if I've talked about it here. Ooh, this suit looks good. Damn. Anyway, Spider-Man 4 was a perfect has a perfect had a perfect opportunity to be a blend between multiverse and groundedness in a Spider-Man story. Cuz what I think they could do I haven't heard any other rumors besides like the inheritors being a part of the story, which is crazy because I don't think they would ever do that. But I definitely think they could have done something where half of it or a majority was grounded, and then it ends or like has a third act where it concludes the grounded aspect but brings us to Battle World, and we have our multiversal movie set up for Secret Wars. But like, because I heard that Tom Holland has more creative freedom with um with Spider-Man now, and I feel like he knows what the character should be at this point, especially at this point that he's been with the character since 2016. But like, I, if the whole movie, if it starts off similarly to like No Way Home, except like the first like third is grounded and the rest is multiversal, like I guess it could be cool, but he they're not gonna throw away Kingpin, so we lose our connection to Born Again, at least from it coming out at the beginning of next year. So maybe it'll connect Spider-Man 5 with Born Again Season 2. God, that suit looks so good. But okay, let me get my thoughts about what I thought Spider-Man 4 would have been had it not been in between Doomsday and Secret Wars. So it would have been a full grounded film where we start off where No Way Home left us off. He's struggling, but he has his GED, or at this point he's going to ESU, and we don't see Ned, we don't see Zendaya. We just have him trying to struggle, or not trying, struggling through school, Spider-Man, and trying to keep his rent up in his place because he has no one. We see him visiting Aunt May, right? But he's never like obviously in the same headspace that he was prior to No Way Home. He never gets back to that in this film. He's very like depressed and upset because he should be, like with everything that's happened. And we get this is where we get things like Daredevil. There's like crime is rampant, and because of that, Daredevil's like helping out in the city. He would know who, like Peter would recognize Daredevil and things like that. Daredevil would not know who Peter is, but obviously be able to figure out relatively quickly. And that's where we would get like our connection from Born Again to Spider-Man 4. Like imagine how cool it would be to have a storyline where Daredevil and Spider-Man team up and have to work together to defeat either Kingpin, or we get a Black Cat and they have to work together to defeat both of them, where then Black Cat ends up turning anti-hero type of shit and they work together. Like that that would be so cool, and it's what people have wanted forever with Spider-Man. Damn. But once it was revealed that it was gonna be multiversal, then I switched to the thought of it being, like I said, a majority of it grounded throughout with a multiversal third act. That's where we get our Toby and Andrew coming back. We set up we set up Battle World, and we get maybe like a beginning confrontation of Peter and Venom. Like, and if the whole thing, it's gonna be hype regardless, right? But like, if this whole thing is just multiversal from the jump, it just takes away so much weight. that so much weight from the ending of No Way Home, and it's like I can't help but blame Sony because like why would they do this if it does happen that way? Because this is all rumors and speculation, even though it's very likely. I don't see it going any other way at this point besides multiversal, especially the fact it's just the timing of being in between both Doomsday and Secret Wars just makes it so much worse. So even though I've talked a good amount about both, like what I wanted it to be and what it probably will be, let's try to do a bit more of a clear, concise thought process. Because I've been just rambling, which it is a gap session, so I mean, what do you expect? But regardless. Hello? Why are you moving my shit like that, gang? So, let's go into the with the assumption that it's gonna be multiversal. Like I've said a ton of times, between Doomsday and Secret Wars. I really wanted to. I think it's gonna start off grounded for the first act, maybe two acts, and this is where we get the Spider-Man we left off with in No Way Home. We get our uh, Kingpin. I don't think if it is like this and it starts off grounded, I don't think it's gonna be a Kingpin Daredevil story, because if they do Kingpin and Daredevil, they're not gonna throw them away in like a one act, two act situation. At least I would hope that they wouldn't. You never know with Sony though. So I think it's gonna start off maybe with either. I would love it starting off with Scorpion, to be quite honest. Like maybe like a whole J. Jonah Jameson like hiring um, Scorpion to hunt down Spider-Man type of thing. That could be pretty cool. Like we could set up like a redemption arc for J. Jonah type of thing, where he hires, or not hires, but like contracts Scorpion, or we have Kingpin, not as a big bad, but hiring Scorpion to hunt down Spider-Man, because Spider-Man's been keeping or pushing back Kingpin's like guys, what he's trying to do in terms of running as mayor. Maybe he's like hiring other companies or other villains to sort of what he did in like Daredevil season 3 of the Netflix show, but Spider-Man is keeping him from doing all that. So Kingpin could hire Scorpion, which we see him a few times, but not as a big bad. Scorpion hunts down um, Spider-Man. We could also even get like what other villain would be good to go with Scorpion? Obviously, Vulture we've already had, so that could easily set up a first act. Someone hiring Scorpion, or maybe Scorpion just coming out for pure vengeance or something, because he remembers that Spider-Man's the one that messed him up, but he doesn't remember that it's Peter Parker. So he comes out for vengeance, and at this point, he would, oh damn, he would more than likely still have the suit or a suit, because the Tinkerer maybe could have left something for him since he was working with Vulture. As I don't think he was arrested in Homecoming. But regardless. So Scorpion's hunting Spider-Man. Then we get like a fight, first act, second act type of fight. So I think that's a solid first act. You know, we got a one villain that fights Spider-Man, he gets locked up, but they give us enough groundedness to where we're kind of happy, and then he gets like a transported, or an incursion happens, which is where I think it'll interact multiversal wise. It'll be an incursion which will probably get set up via Doomsday, and once that incursion event happens, that's where we get that it affects Peter, and then he's like, "Oh no, not again," or whatever MCU humor they're gonna end up, cringy joke they're gonna end up doing. So we get our first act, Scorpion fighting Spider-Man, hired by Kingpin, Jonah, whoever it ends up being, or another grounded villain. Maybe we get something like Shocker. Even though we kind of already had one in Homecoming, I would have a comic accurate Shocker. I think that'd be so cool. Like it just keeps passing on the mantle of Shocker. Kingpin hires someone to make the weapons, whatever it may be. Um, and then, unfortunately, we go into like the multiversal aspect. Him getting teleported to Battle World via an incursion, which is what I would think will happen between Battle World and Secret Wars. I mean, between Doomsday and Secret Wars, we get our incursion event that causes both the mainline MCU and whatever MCU or whatever universe Doctor Doom, RDJ's Doctor Doom is from, which is probably going to be the Fantastic Four universe. Their incursion occurs, and that's where we get Battle World. And from there, obviously, Tom Holland's Spider Man in the middle of his movie, in the middle of Spider Man 4, it would occur maybe late second act, early third act, and that's where we get that he gets teleported. Maybe he sees prior to him being teleported, they kind of come together like the people that know Spider-Man, similar to what happened in No Way Home via the spell, and we get Toby and Andrew back in Spider-Man 4, or he ends up on Battle World. There's countless fights going on because at this point, Doomsday would have already been occurring, or maybe like it's like a start to Secret Wars, since Secret Wars will be coming pretty much a few months after. So we either see a bunch of people fighting, or we see a bunch of people fighting, and Toby and Andrew are with him, with Tom Holland Spider Man, and he gets the black symbiote suit. Either or Venom, some sort of Venom. I doubt it. I don't know if it would be Tom Hardy's Venom, but another version of Venom maybe. Which I don't know what type of version they could even do, because Tom Hardy's Venom visually is very good. So I don't know how they would be able to up it. They're definitely not going to do no. They can't do Carnage. They could. They couldn't do Toxin because Toxin's already been established in Let There Be Carnage, and I'm assuming in Venom 3. So I don't know what they're gonna do. But they could have Venom fighting Spider-Man, fighting Tom Holland, and then Andrew and Toby, or Toby, is like, oh my god, you need the sound and all this. Then maybe the three of them fight. The symbiote comes off of Venom and goes to Tom Holland. That's where we get his first iteration of the black suit. And then they make a joke like, "Oh my God, Tom, you got an alien," because that was Andrew's whole thing. I said this was gonna be more concise, and I completely lost. I've lost my train of thought footing. The Scorpion thing, a grounded start, I think it has to be, bro. There's no way they start a multiversal. So grounded start, I think is good. Act 2 and 3 is where we get our incursion. We end up on Battle World via that incursion, or prior to being sent, it starts up, and that's where we get our combination of No Way Home elements with Toby and Andrew coming back. So with Toby and Andrew back in Spider-Man 4, that's where we get our like them trying to figure out what's happening. Then they all get teleported to Battle World, leading us to the end of Tom's movie. Which, as soon as they mentioned that it was gonna be multiversal, I immediately thought that Spider-Man 4 was gonna end with him getting the black suit. And if it doesn't, I don't know how else it would end on a way that would be, what's the word? Be like fulfilling. So I feel like it has to end with um Tom getting the black suit. So with it ending on Battle World, with Tom getting the black suit, maybe we get like a we could get like a whole fight scene with an overpowered Venom is destroying all three Spider-Man, because Tom Andrew Spider-Man, gets wiped because he's never fought an alien. Toby Spider-Man gets wiped because he's old and he's just too strong. Then Tom's either figures out that it's weak, or Toby lets Tom know that it's weak, and then together they all work together to pull off the symbiote. And then maybe it ends with Tom getting the symbiote, and then maybe we get like a fight or something. I don't know, but I definitely think it's gonna end Battle World, and Tom getting the black suit, and then it'll set up the rest of Secret Wars, whatever ends up happening, maybe like a post-credit scene or something. Hello, can I not use my? I was about to say. The fuck? Oh. Um. Yeah, I mean, I can't really. God, this suit looks so good, bro. Look at this big ass bitch just running around, bro. The suits look so good. What the fuck? What am I doing, bro? What the hell did I just do? My fault. Oh my god, that person got lodged.
They're shooting stuff at us! I know! Just keep moving! Nice shot! We need to stop these guys now! People are counting on us! Almost there! Just need one more to take them! Miles, can you hear me? Missiles coming in the window! Keep surrounding people! Just hang on! We see you! You can do it! Keep it up! Just a little longer!
This is crazy, bro.
Seconds longer!
This is insane. What the hell, bro?
Let's get to your mom and thank you. I'll take downtown. I got uptown.
Oh, this looks so beautiful. I was gonna change Miles' suit,
We're
but
Harry. I should check in on some other things.
so I mean, yeah, I mean, bruh.
Hey, Mr. Parker. You've been dealing with those fire cult guys, right? The followers of the flame?
Yeah?
I'm seeing reports on social media say they spotted a few of them on a rooftop in Brooklyn. I'll send you the details.
I'll check it out. Thanks, Yankee. Is the Crimson Hour about to start? Symbiotes. Can't let those people get hurt.
What the fuck just happened?
All clear. At least for now.
Oh my god, that shit's 4,000 fucking miles away, bruh. Um, what was I gonna say? I mean, oh yeah, there's really not much else to talk about. Like Spider-Man wise, like I would love it for it to be fully grounded, but that looks like we're gonna have to wait till Spider-Man 5, which is crazy. But I mean, it is what it is.
Mr. Osborn,
I
you okay?
I'm worried about Harry. He needs to talk to me. He's, not himself right now.
I hope they don't fumble with
Harry
Spider-Man.
told me about his treatment. I knew something was
Spider-Man
up.
4.
It's just hard to
Story-wise, I mean, money-wise, they're not gonna fumble because
I'll let you know if I hear from anything.
regardless,
Okay,
they
I appreciate it.
they are not gonna lose money, regardless of what they do. Because really, the only people that care about the fact that that it's gonna be multiversal, are the people that still see the movies, but they're not the general audience. The general audience sees Spider-Man, and regardless of what's happening, they're there. Especially if he gets the black suit. If they tease it in a trailer, it's over. It's over.
Maybe
It
Harry can find
legit,
his place.
it, it's over. You know what I mean? So money-wise, it's not gonna be a problem. It's just like story-wise, I just hope it's good, bro. Cause like, if they're doing another multiverse, I get it, we're in the multiversal saga, but we just had that with No Way Home. They left it off of a perfect, literal perfect Spider-Man moment for him to be grounded. And they're gonna throw him right back into the multiverse. On the bright side, post Secret Wars, there's no way that they are gonna do a multiversal story because it's impossible. Nearly impossible. Because we're gonna be done with the multiverse. But damn. So with that being said, remember to stay happy, be positive. Peace out.